Next verse. And said, please, my brethren, do not do so wickedly. Verse 8. See now, I ask what happened, Brad? Now, okay, next verse. And they said, stand back. Then they said, this one came in to stay here, and he keeps acting as a judge. Now we will deal worse with you than with them. So they pressed hard against the man a lot, and came near to break down the door. Verse 10. And they struck the men who were at the doorway of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they became weary trying to find the door. Verse 12. For we will destroy this place, because the outcry against them has grown great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it. Verse 14. Next verse. When the morning dawned, the angels urged Lot to hurry, saying, arise, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, lest you be consumed in the punishment of the city. Verse 16. So it came to pass, when they had brought them outside, that he said, escape for your life. Do not look behind you, nor stay anywhere in the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest you be destroyed. Verse 18. Indeed, now your servant has found favor in your sight, and you have increased your mercy, which you have shown me by saving my life. But I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil overtake me, and I will die. Verse 20. And he said to him, see, I have favored you concerning this thing also, in that I will not overthrow this city for which you have spoken. Verse 22. The sun had risen upon the earth when Lot entered Zoar. Verse 24. So he overthrew those cities, all the plain, and the inhabitants of the cities, and what grew on the ground. 16:26 together. And Abraham went early in the morning to the place where he had stood before the Lord. Verse 28. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the city of the plain, that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the city in which Lot had dwelt. Verse 30. Now, the firstborn said to the younger, our father is old, And there is no man on the earth to come into us, as is the custom of all the earth. Verse 32. So they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he did not know when she lay down or when she arose. Verse 34. Then they made their father drink wine that night also, and the young arose and lay with him, and he did not know when she lay down or when she arose. Verse 36. The firstborn bore his son and called his name Moab. He is the father of the Moabites to this day. Verse 38. Be seated in his presence. The story of that family documented in this scripture. I want to ask, did it end well? No. Let's talk together now. No. His wife became a pillar of salt. The children committed abomination by getting their father drunk and made him have sex with them. And we never also heard about the name of Saul after that chapter again in the Bible. I mean, Lord. So bringing these three together, these 3 points, that family ended on a disastrous note. Mother died. Children got corrupt. Father had no more history. I pray for those of you that are married and those of you that will still get married. Your family will not end on a disastrous note in the name of Jesus. This is a disaster. I didn't want to study this passage before, but God kept putting it in my heart. Now, if you look at the reading, you will notice that Lot must have learned some things from Abraham. And let's not forget that they were raised from a family that knew God. Who was their father, if you still remember? Terah. Now, Terah gave birth to the father of Lot. The father of Lot was the first man in the Bible to die an untimely death. And the first person was Lot's father. Now, the father of Lot was a brother of Abraham. Follow me, please. I want you to take note. And for you to know that their father Terah knew God, I told you at the beginning of this message, he embarked on a journey to Canaan. He got to Haran and got distracted. And God told Abraham to continue that journey. Now, for you to also know that Lot believed God, as Abraham said to him, God has spoken to me, he decided to follow Abraham. Now, and if you look at the documentation, you will see that he learned 1 or 2 things from Abraham. He learned how to entertain guests. That hospitality, he learned it from Abraham. But the question we are going to look at here, we are going to go back to some of these verses to look at what went wrong that should not go wrong in your own family. Now, what went wrong that made this family to end like this? What went wrong? I will start with verse 7. Let's look at these statements that will give a conclusion. And said, I pray thee, brethren, do not so wickedly. Verse 8. Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and you do to them as is good in your eyes. Now look up. Does that statement sound like somebody that still had a relationship with God?
No.
Now when those men were saying, bring out those visitors, let's have sex with them, he said, I will give you my daughters. You can do anything you like with my daughters. Now that statement reveals something. It reveals to us that as at the time he was living in Gomorrah and Sodom, he must have learned the habits of the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. For him to have suggested that his daughter be brought forth. But let's not conclude. Now I saw another point again in verse 11 to verse 14. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot, haste thou here any beside? Son-in-law, which means, do you have anybody here, son-in-law or whatever? Now look up. By the time he was to go to his son-in-law to talk to them about what the Lord is saying, the Bible says they thought he was mocking them. He was making jest. Now it's to show us that he had never preached the gospel before. Then he shows us something again. It means that his daughters were getting married to unbelievers. Am I communicating at all? Now, and if you compare him to Abraham, when Abraham was about to die, he instructed his servants to make sure that his children don't marry, that Isaac doesn't marry from the Hebrews, that he must travel to his family members. He was so concerned about the marriage life, the marital life of Abraham, of Isaac, to the point that he made his servant to enter into a covenant, an oath. But in the case of Lot, he opened his eyes and his children were dating unbelievers. Second sign to show you that he backslided. Now move on. Let's look at another example. From verse 15 to verse 21. And when the morning arose, the angels hastened Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife and thy two daughters which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hands, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him, and he brought him forth. And now what was the instruction of the angel? Run to the mountain. What was the answer of Lot? Let us go to the city. He was advising God. If you compare him to his brother, his uncle Abraham obeyed the last order. Lot questioned the order. He even went as far as advising God. That's an example of somebody who has backslided, who is no longer in faith. When the Bible says do like this, you say no, the Bible is not correct. It's this way. Are you following me at all? Yes, we are going somewhere. We are trying to examine this man's life. Then I saw something else again. Wow. Okay, maybe I should stop from there. Now, if you bring these three statements together, these three things, events that happened: number one, he wanted his daughters to have sex with the people; number two, he didn't want to follow the instruction. He didn't have in-laws that knew God. Number three, he even advised the angels. He didn't follow the instruction. It shows us that as at that time, Lot was no longer in the faith. Now, and today, as children of God, I want to show you the danger in backsliding. If you, as a couple, either the wife or your children, if anybody should backslide, your home is in danger. That's why, to have a glorious home, every member of your family should be in the faith. Say now, there is no how you can have a glorious home if your husband is an unbeliever, or your wife is an unbeliever, or your children doesn't follow the path of salvation. There is no how you can have a glorious home. If the Lot's daughters knew God, they won't decide to say, let's get our father drunk. Or will they say such? No. But that they don't believe God. They had already grown in Sodom to the point that they now start to behave like people of Sodom. Now I'm still telling you the introduction. So what we are going to be looking at is how to keep your family members in the faith. What can I do to keep my family members in the faith? That's what we're going to look at this morning. You know, if Lot's wife had been born again like Sarah, she wouldn't have looked back. They don't look back. Sarah never questioned for once what God told Abraham. He go and search scripture to question it. Even when she didn't know that visitors were coming, and the husband said, go and tell my wife to cook something, visitors are coming, she didn't oppose. We must manage to do to kill party. For husband and there's no marriage as sweet as husband and wife knowing God. When two of them are born again, both of you will hear God together. Both of you will understand things from God's point of view. There's something as sweet as it is, as that. Imagine they were going and God has said, don't look back. And Lot's wife, whose name we didn't know, I will look, and she became pillar of salt. Marriage end there. You know, Lot will later know when he see his daughter's pregnant, who is the father of these babies? And they say, Daddy, you are the one. That's disaster. Because anyone that does not know Christ, it is the devil that controls their mind. That's one dangerous thing in getting married to an unbeliever. All our youths, hear me. It is not money that makes marriage sweet. I know of rich people's wives that I cancer that are crying inside. And they have all the money. They have cars. There's one family I know. They don't buy meat, man. They used to go and kill cow. The day I was in their house, they will go to the body that kill the whole cow, stock it in the freezer. The wife doesn't go to kitchen, they have permanent cook. But you know the problem of that home? Daddy used to, he's a judicious man do the king. He only girlfriend khaki. And that's why the woman is not. There's car, there's driver, there's everything, but she's not happy. Marriage is not all about marrying a handsome guy with good teddy or a beautiful woman, that looks like fish. See, if your minds don't think as one, the Bible says it is better to live in the corner of a roof than to share the same room in a troublous room. Let me talk to them and say, listen to the message. So if you're here, your husband is not born again, or your wife is not born again, I want to teach you what to do today. And if you are not yet married and you are dating a lady or a man that is not yet born again, you better have second thought. Because where you are going and the Lord has told you to go, she will look back. And when she becomes a pillar of salt, it will affect you. If that woman were to be alive, they won't sleep with the daughters won't sleep with their father now. It affects. That is as a result of her looking back. When God showed me that family, everything they are doing, look at how the journey ended. Now, don't forget what I'm telling you. When the person backslides, who controls his heart? The devil. Now, when the person is in Christ, who will control his heart? The Lord. So marriage is beyond all these things that some of you youths are doing. It's beyond it. Who do that all? Marriage is beyond, this is my man. I can boast of him. It's beyond it. No wonder one of our fathers said, if you mismarry in life, half of your destiny is gone. There will be lots of barriers. So let's now look at how to guide your family from backsliding. How to guide your family from backsliding. Please, if you have questions, write your questions down. Give it to the ushers. You don't need to put your name. It will be answered from the altar here. How to guide your family from backsliding. If you are engaged and your spouse is even your partner is born again, how to help them not to backslide. Let's start with the first one. The first point I'll be talking about is that you have to become an intercessor for your family. And I'm talking about prayer here. You listen, in every person's life, in every family, there's what we call a spiritual gate. Not physical, nobody can see the gate, but in the spirit. Now, as I am now, there's a spiritual gate to my life. As my family is now, this is my wife, there's a spiritual gate to our family. This is Safivo here. Safivo, you are. There's a spiritual gate that leads to my family. Do you know who should be at that gate? Anybody in our family that is serious in prayers. It could be the man. It could be the woman. It could even be the child. But there must always be somebody at that gate. Now, and how will that person stand at the gate? There must be always somebody that will be praying for that family. Every battle of darkness, Lord, against my home, every force of darkness. Now, because there is no home the devil doesn't want to enter. So if there is nobody at the gate, I'm telling you, things will go wrong. There are several things you can use prayer and fasting to do in your family. There are several things you can use prayer and fasting to do. 3 major things in your family. There are how many major things? 3 major things you use fasting and prayer to do in your family. Number 1, you can use fasting and prayer to defend your family. Don't say I trust my husband, I trust my wife. She's not a flirt, he's not a flirt. Somebody, my wife went to the salon where they do manicure nails, and as she got there, she was doing her nails, and somebody said, it surprised me. I went to greet one of my friends, and they gave me this drink to drink. You mentioned the name of that drink. Only people she for me mo kàn ṣáà wá kí ọkùnrin bá mi sùn kí ọkùnrin bá mi sùn kí ọkùnrin wọ́n máa bá mi sùn ní ọ́fíìsì ń ṣá. The lady was telling another person and my wife had it. Mi ò lè délé sọ fún ọkọ mi o. The woman was innocent. She only visited her friend. She didn't know that her friend had set her up with a drink. I trust my wife. It's beyond I trust my wife. She could innocently fall. That's why somebody must be at the gate. Pray. Because listen, what human hands cannot do, you can do by prayers. Your husband's mind may be plain, but you don't know. I told you last week, the Bible says the heart of man is desperately wicked. Who can know it? It's only God. So by prayer you can defend your family. You know what God said to Abraham? He said, I trust Abraham, for he shall surely teach his children to serve. Abraham was a man of prayer. In fact, you must pray for your partner more than yourself. If you are engaged and you know that relationship is serious, and that brother loves you, or that sister is the person who wants to get married, to be praying for him or for her. If Lot had taken his prayer life serious, his family wouldn't have collapsed. Oh, thank God for 21 reasons that make marriage work. But there are some spiritual things that makes marriage work that formula cannot solve. Am I communicating? Yes, say here. So the first thing you can use prayer to do is to what? Defend your marriage. Number 2, you can use prayer to uproot some things from your marriage. Prayer can do the work of uprooting. Now, I will share this testimony with you too. There was a member in our church in those days. She said her husband doesn't used to drink the way he started drinking. If he's coming home, they will begin to show him the door. He no longer knows the door of the house again. He becomes so drunk. She said she now took time to observe. And she discovered that her husband was moving with a particular young man, a new friend. And that one too was a drunkard. You know what she did? She said she first told her husband, I don't want you to move with this person again. The man insisted, are you going to choose my friends for me? What do you mean? And, it wanted to become crisis. And she said she read one of my books where I wrote that if you want to do with counseling what you should do with prayers, you have crisis at home. So she started praying for the man. And what was the prayer? Lord, I want this man uprooted from my husband's life. Therefore, a kind of misunderstanding that nobody will settle, let it break out and extend. It was where she was praying. She said, not up to a month, the husband and the young man had terrible misunderstanding. They almost beat themselves up and they separated. The husband stopped drinking. Because if you say, I won't pray, I won't that's why you see some natures in your house that you don't like, and you try to talk them into changing those natures and they refuse. What do? That third thing you can use prayer to do, you can use prayer to impact. And we can use prayer to what? Impact. And if you can use prayer to bring impartation. That there are some natures you discover that your spouses don't have. You can prayerfully bring it into their lives. I don't know whether they taught you in Sunday school. In the days when we were young in the Sunday school, they taught us that time. Prayer is the key. Prayer is the key. Tell your neighbor. Prayer is the master key. Let's sing together. Jesus started with prayer and ended with prayer. Prayer is the master key. Take it one more time. Prayer is the key. Yes. Prayer is the key. Prayer is the master key. Jesus started with prayer and ended with prayer. Prayer is the master key. You know, for instance, if your husband is lazy, he doesn't want to work, and you are okay. You know, you really want to suffer as a wife. Because if your husband doesn't provide food at home, you will struggle. So what do? You prayerfully, but there's nothing you cannot use prayer to plant. Now the same thing too, you notice that some natures in the life of your children, you have tried to correct, they are not changing. Prayerfully impact the right character in them. But Lot was never found in any place written about Lot. It was never found that Lot had time to pray. The first time we had his name, the Bible says it was when his father died, they mentioned his name. The second time we had his name, it was when he was following Father Abraham to the land where God showed him. The third time we had his name, it was when his ex-men started to fight the ex-men of Abraham. The fourth time we had his name, it was when he made up his mind he was going to Sodom and Gomorrah. The fourth time we had his name, it was when he was captured by a king that came to attack them. The fifth time we had his name, it was when Abraham rescued him. Now, can you see that? We never had it. Like it was said about Abraham, and Abraham was praying, and Abraham was meditating, and Abraham was at the entrance of his tent, and the Lord visited him. We never had things like that. You are not safe if your husband or your wife is an unbeliever. Marriage is beyond beauty. Point number 2. Don't forget what we are tracing. How to guide your family from backsliding. Number 2, do not allow the devil to take your family from fellowship in the church. Do not allow the devil to take your family from fellowship in the church. Do not allow the devil to take your family from fellowship in the church. The word of God It's very important to your spiritual development. Listen, people don't understand that God's change agent is His word. Oral. You're not moving here in your father. Now, what took me to this realm is the word of God. What transformed my character is the word of God. Now, if you remove the word of God, which is God's soul, from the life of the person, I'm telling that person is gone. Genesis. Now look at this. And that's why you see the difference between Abraham. That thing which I go to Genesis 18, 17 and 19. Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. Look at verse 19. So I know that he will what? Command his children and his household, and they shall keep the way of the Lord. Now NIV version will say, I know he shall teach, he shall surely teach his children. Teaching is what creates touches that transforms lives. Don't ever give room for the devil to now say, your family, my children can't come. Where are your children? My children can't come to church. Just like the pastor I was being told. It's a very big church. He said when service is on, the pastor's children will be at the pastor's office playing game. And when service finishes, you'll be crying, Daddy, I want ice cream. I want ice cream. So their daddy will say, okay, accountant, bring from the offering, go and get 2 bowls of ice cream, and they will drink. Now, no wonder you now see that such children, they begin to have habits, bad habits. Then the parents will be wondering. There is no body that the word of God cannot break down. That's why the Bible says it's not God said it's not my word like fire. It's not like my word like hammer. The word of God has the hammer power and the fire power. Don't let the devil deprive you from hearing it. That's why those of you who are young, no matter how beautiful that girl is, no matter how handsome that man is that you are dating, the first thing you must ask about him is his spiritual life. Ask him, who is your spiritual father? I know they will be quick to mention names of pastors that are popular that you cannot go and ask. So who is your spiritual father? It's Pastor E.A. Adeboye. Then go next to the next question. What church do you attend? Of course, you should know that it's Green Christian Church of God. Now, since I mentioned Pastor Adeboye, which of the parishes? The one at the Metal Lagos. What's the name of the pastor there? Is Pastor Kuli down see now? What was the topic of the last message in church? His favor to the throne. Can I have a message notes, please? And there are questions you should ask. Then after you have asked his message note and he shows you, follow him with the permission of your pastor one Sunday. Tell your pastor in church. If I'm your pastor, you come and say, I want to worship in my fiance's church next week Sunday, sir. Go and worship in one Sunday. And after the service, demand to see the pastor. Who is brother pulling down? See? If he's a truthful pastor like me, which brother? He's a pull-out. Did he tell you he's not born again? I will tell the whole truth. Now that was the same step I took when one of us, brother, what's his name again? The brother in Australia now, brother Dio Falashiri. When he wanted to get married, he just called me, Papa. I said, what is it? He said, there's a lady that I want to get married to. Please touch that sister for me. There's a lady I want to get married to. I said, where is it in Australia? He said, no, in Nigeria. How come you didn't tell yourself? I know you didn't have fiancé before you travel. He said, in my school days, I received her, but I proposed, she didn't agree. So now that I'm now in Australia, I called her from Australia and I proposed again, and she agreed. You know what I said? Hello, concentrate now. Tell her to see me. She's based at Elisha. Tell her to see me. Then she came. I asked her some questions and discovered she was not born again. She was born in a Baptist church. She went to Sunday school from childhood. Started representing the church in memory verse competition, but didn't know Jesus. So I led her to Christ. I now wrote a letter to the Baptist church at Elisha, where she attends. Her parents are deacons, and the father is a deacon, the mother is a deaconess. To the pastor. The pastor received the message and called me. That this girl is God. She said so many things. I said, sir, she was only God-fearing. She didn't know Jesus. I led her to Christ. But can you vouch that my son should marry her? He said, yes, sir. She has never had any case in church, no crisis. The pastor told me so many things. The pastor now said, well, pastor, you are the one taking the daughter from us. I should be the one asking you who is Dayo Folashiri. I said, please, in the church where I am a pastor, I treasure my sons. I don't want to have a crisis that after marriage, they will now be calling me to go and settle. The pastor had to give me green light before I now called Brother Dayo in Australia. Bro, he said, sir, what do you want me to do? You know, he was sincere. It's not like some of you that you have concluded what you want to do. You are only coming to come and hear what I will say. And you have concluded whether I say yes or no. You have concluded what you want to do. That if I mistakenly say, there is no way, the next thing is I will leave your church. So that bro says, sir, I said, go ahead. She's a child of God now. That was why I was there at Elisha when they were getting married. And since they got married, there have not been crisis. You don't just marry somebody you meet on the street. Yes, I know their physical house. Do you know their spiritual home? The church is your spiritual address. Am I communicating? Yes. That's why any sister, don't think I will cover you. You know how I say the truth. I will not cover you. It happened to one of our women. She's looking at me. I will not look at her so that she know. She brought the lady that the son wanted to get married to me. And Papa, and the lady said, I asked this, are you born again? She said, yes. But do you know that the person you want to marry is not born again? She said, yes. Then why do you want to marry him? The woman was like, this is the woman I was asked, Papa, ìyàwó ọmọ mi mú wa pé mo ní ṣe màá wáyé kí born again kò fẹ́ tí ó born again ni. Because nǹkan tó wà lẹ́yìn ọ̀fà. Am I communicating? Yes. So the word of God is God's power and ability to change lives. All the parents that are here, don't leave your children behind at home and you now tell your children, meet me in church. You know, I don't know you. Let them hear what you are hearing. I always tell my children, I told them, there's a bag they used to have. In that bag, I don't want to see anything. Because when they are coming to church, Oyi will take glasses. She will take chain. She will take bead. She will take lipstick. She will take... Then when the service is on, she'll be looking at the mirror, looking at the glasses on her face. So I had to call for a council meeting at home. Sit down. Apart from your Bible and your jotter and Bible, I don't want to see any other thing in that bag. I've started teaching them morning devotion. When they wake up, you read your Bible. When they finish reading, come to the table. What did you? There was one day when we started it. I said, go and pick your Bible, go and read. He said, why are you doing it? She told me the chapter. Within 10 minutes, she has finished. I said, come and tell me what you read. Come on, let me back it again. Because if you don't give them God now, when you are supposed to be resting, you'll be on the altar for them. I bet Moka will pray, will be me wants to kaka in back. Baba ko lórí òkè bí wọ́n kó lórí òkè tán lórí ọmọ. Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ò ní rí lẹ́wọ̀. Number 3. If you have questions, please send your questions quickly. Number 3. You need to be sensitive in the spirit always. You don't want your family to backslide. That's number 3. You need to be sensitive in the spirit always. The devil at times is very cunning. If you are not very sensitive, he will carry out his demonic activity in your home without you knowing at all. I come again. You need to be sensitive in the spirit always. Sensitivity. Kuni? Obi Fura? Okay, ma Sarah. Now I will tell you these two experiences that almost affected us. Almost. But thank God for being sensitivity. It was around July this year. One of our old members came to the church. This was our left the church for long. Now came with one of our sons. This is Lambeja. Oh, the boy has become a tall guy. Hi, how are you? Things like that. He said, Papa, the training you gave us before we left here made me to bring my son to you. So why? He said, I want my son to live with you. He's already born again. He knows God. He just came out from Bible school, yes, and he's doing well. But I want him to live with you, or at least live with somebody around. I say, I hear. While he was saying it, the first thing that crossed my mind is that I have 2 daughters at home. And I remember the story of Reverend Pastor Martins. If you live on Liberty Road, you will remember the story. The Pastor Martins was a brother in church when one family took him in. And as he grew up in that family that the woman that took him in happens to be the interpreter of Mama Biara, of Baba Biara. So Martins grew up in their family and he became a pastor. And you know, there's what we call love based on familiarity. Do you know the meaning of that? When brother A and sister B are living in the same compound, and because they see themselves every day, once any man considers they may not even toast themselves, they just start a relationship and they get married. This was how Martins got married to the daughter of that interpreter. They had their first 2 children, which after Martins met the lady that became a second. True life story. Reverend Martins is in prison now, in Nagori prison now. True life story. After 10 years of marriage, he fell in love with his secretary, deeply in love. And he knew that the only reason why that a Christian can get married is either if the other party is involved in sexual thing or if the other party dies. He killed his wife. And this was a powerful setup. He came home, parked that he was going for ministration. Members escorted him. He sneaked back, poisoned the woman, beat her up, and they told that the poison will not last 2 hours before the woman will pack up. But the woman, after he left like almost 2 hours. He stayed with the woman to die. He left. The woman started hitting the door. Neighbors heard, took her out, rushed her to UCH, but before she gave up, she wrote it down. My husband poisoned me. After her death, they did the autopsy and they saw the poison. The interpreter of Baba Biara didn't know what to do. Mo dẹ̀ mọ́mọ́ yìí ní kékeré mo máa ní mo ti mú àánú ni mo ṣe ni mo mú wọnú lé mi. That was when she was not sensitive. So that was the first thing that I remember as the woman was talking. And I said, okay, to bá dìgbà convention, any Cuba, let him come during convention. That we have arrangement for where people will stay for 7 days. That within those 7 days, I will know what to do. Believe me, during the 7 days, the second day he was in church. Within the 7 days, yes, he went to meet brother Amy, Ukunuga's son, like Eniola, for me telephone number. He started calling my daughter. I'm going to be fine. I said to myself, God, I thank you. Are you getting what I'm saying? Do you know that some of you parents, you don't know that your children stay up late to watch TV? You, when you sleep, you are dead. Obi okay, so as You wake up in the middle of the night at times, you'll be going to check their rooms, check your children. That's how it should be. It's not like the man is they should take no idea. Did you know that one of my pastor friends almost raped the daughter of Reverend Yewa? Man, pastor to go, I'm not taking bomb. My pastor friend almost raped the daughter. My pastor friend later came to confess to me that whenever he goes to their house, the children will So one night, where they were in his room, the first daughter slept off. I know some parents too don't mind when their children sleep. Some children will just see, they will just sleep and do like this. And he, the mother, will say, and so the lady slept, and my friend confessed to me that she uncovered herself. He woke up in the middle of the night and wondered. He said he was already on her. The girl was still sleeping. That was the time the mother used to check the rooms. The mother just opened their room door and he had and was calling Nagaja. How are you seeing? You are right. Ibuluwawa. And my friend said he jumped quickly to the bed and he has slept off. And the man knocked down, opened the door quite. If you don't want to see, and woke her up. Innocently, won't do anything to you, and took her to her room. Innocently, yes, ma'am. Let me tell you, people, you need to be sensitive. Do you know that some of you young guys too, you are dating a lady, and before you every time you can't touch her phone. When you are dating a brother, sister, or you are dating a sister, bro, as long as you're dating, you have rights to her phone. Sister, you have rights to his phone. I'm not saying you be jealous. You are investigating. Imagine somebody calls, hello, no.
Yes.
Not now. We'll talk later. Don't worry. It is well. We'll see. The person doesn't have name. Yes. I didn't use he or she. Okay. Get back to you. No problem. Furasi. Kudoshi. Let's come back. Being what? Sensitive.
Yes, sir.
The same thing with you, the wife. While you are praying, don't forget we say prayer number 1, 2, the word of God. The third one, you must be sensitive. You observe your husband, you observe your wife. Don't just say, I've prayed, I will just leave him just like that. One of our daughters shared with my wife that her husband came home from work and grabbed her and quickly went into the room. They had sexual intercourse, husband and wife. He said he was not asking the husband, how come? Were you thinking of sex before you were coming? He said no. That as I wanted to enter the bank, a lady was coming out of that, what do you call that small door, that the security door? Cubicle. Abi? That he and the lady hit themselves and his body arose from that morning. Oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ló rìn kiri. Imagine kó wá nílé pa fífọ́ ọkọ̀ ìyàwó ẹ̀jẹ̀ wọn ní ìjà tá parí látara ọmọ apá ìjà yẹn rẹ̀ parí. Aláìní ohun tí mo rọ̀ á ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ọ̀fẹ́sọ̀ tó bá súnmọ́ mi. You won't know that the man is coming with a battle he wants to offload. Help me tell your neighbor, be sensitive. Imagine your husband is always telling you, call that sister now, let her come and cook for us. Call that sister now, let her come and go to that. Be sensitive. You ask him one day, Jimmy will share for a minute. This second one is a bit funny. It's my wife it happened to. Now, there's one of our brothers in church who always come to see my wife for counseling. And my wife doesn't know how to do, my wife doesn't know how to dress, my wife doesn't know how to this, my wife, sexual issue, emotional answer. Then one day, he came home to our house with bra and pants as a gift. My wife now asked her, how did you know my size? Going with the viewer. Hello. True life story. My wife came to me and said, I will cancel this brother again. That this counseling is going somewhere else. Any to think for the view, size is that. But you know, some people now say it's just nothing. It's just nothing. You could just be that he's just trying to show appreciation. He said, I got this word. Or it gets to a point you want to go to church and your husband is telling you, go, I'll join you. And after something you didn't say, be sensitive. That's why I always tell all our wives, if they transfer your husband, relocate with him. That they transfer, oh, they say, job has carried from Ibadan to Abuja and he's now telling you that don't worry, I will be coming from Abuja to Ibadan. Say no. Pastor Prince should have told us that you need to transfer you, that transfer me too. Be sensitive. So many people backslide out of carelessness. And let's take the last one because of time. There should be discussion in your home. A time when you will need to discuss your observations. You know, the discussion as per Joro. That you will take at such times, see, any family that doesn't have discussion time, I'm telling you the fact, the devil will enter easily and nobody will know. Now, in that discussion time, you know what you should do? It's a time to mention the things you observe. Honey, what's going on? Also, depending on what you call yourself, what is going on? This? What's going on? It was a discussion time that a woman was telling me, just observe. For instance, her name is Nike, and her husband wants to call her, and her husband just quickly calls Susan. You know, some Christians, some of you that are so naive, it is well. Check which mistake will come in. Instead of saying, who is Susan? The first question should be, who is Susan? Discuss. Let there be a time to talk. Don't wait until there is calamity, there is trouble before you talk. That's why let me talk to all the youths that are here. All the young people, listen to me. Don't ever get married to somebody you can't be in talking terms with. We're into 15 years. Someone has seen you for 15 years, and whenever you want to talk, they tell you, you are not up to the last born of our house. Keep quiet. Don't marry that person at all. Anybody you marry, you must be discussion mate. Any Jura in-law, but that person must have maturity to know that you can also talk. Anyone that does not give you, does not allow you to talk, wants to enslave you. That's not marriage. There should be time to talk. That's why everybody must listen to me. If you are married, you should have what we call the listening ears. Your wife wants to talk, let her talk. And when women talk, listen, the talk of a woman is different from the talk of a man. When a woman talks at times, to the man, it sounds like she's criticizing you. Listen. Listen to what is behind. The point is what you should pay attention to. Are you hearing me? Because if you want to keep your ego, you won't listen to the point. And when the man is talking, the man feels as if she doesn't know what she's doing. She'll give me more. You too, keep quiet and listen to the point, because discussion will save your family from backsliding. Now, so many people have entered relationship where they don't have voice. Listen. I told one of our sisters, there are sometimes you create war so that people can come in to help you. I'm not talking about war of Afro-Awalori that you just said, no, kí ni gbogbo eléyìí ṣe? Ẹ wò máa ń pe pastor, mi nígbà ṣe bí ẹgbẹ́ inú ti bí máa bí irú nonsense àdẹ̀sọ́rọ̀ mi nígbà you begin to cry fake cry máa pe pastor ẹ̀dọ́ sà. Create something and let me. Because some men will be telling you, you see, no, my young was it, and she passed on the test that, you are dating. Observe. You know, that's why I keep shouting. And, you know, don't allow sex before marriage to kill the person. If you are dating and you are having sex, sex will not allow you to see what you see. Because if you are the lady, the man have had sex with you, you'll be feeling that if you stand on your ground, he may leave you and you lose. If you are the man too, you are having sex with her during courtship, you want to correct her, you'll be feeling that let me not correct her so that this thing can continue. But let's be sincere, there are so many things you need to observe on the way. Don't date a man that nobody can talk to. He does not have anybody he fears. He does not have anybody that can call him and sit him down. Don't date that man. Don't date a lady that the parents don't have control over. That lady has been used to a free lifestyle. If she gets married to you, you see you as a problem too. So discuss. In our family, we discuss. There are times I sit my children down and ask them questions. No, this one that you have started watching television anyhow. Is this our plan? What did I tell you? Okay, you said you want to become so and so. How can you become so and so if you are living your life like this? Discuss. You know, I was telling one of them too, you have gotten to the stage that you have to become one of the workers in the church. And that I said, you will join the workers training after this set finish. Why? I am the one that knows what I want to do. Listen, if your child knows God and have character, then understand how to relate with people, you don't have problem again. Ọmọ tó nígbà tó mọ lọ́nà tó tún wá mọ bọ́ ṣe ń gbé láàrin àwọn àwùjọ yẹn kò sí wàhálà fún mi. I rest my case.